Welcome to the Wisdom Well. Today we delve into ancient narratives that speak profoundly to our modern anxieties. We will explore how faith is tested and how the answers to our deepest worries were put on display thousands of years ago. Let's start with a feeling we all know: uncertainty. That sense that the mountains in our lives are completely immovable. This very feeling sets the stage for a question that echoes through time and speaks directly to us today. Our journey today follows three major tests of faith. First, the internal battle with doubt. Second, the external pull of temptation. And third, the ultimate test of surrender, all leading to an incredible revelation of God's provision. Our first case study deals with an internal challenge. What happens when God makes a promise that seems, from any human perspective, totally and completely impossible? Sarah's story is bookended by two very different laughs. The first, a private bitter laugh at age 90 upon hearing she would have a son. It was the sound of a lifetime of waiting crashing into the wall of biological reality. But her story doesn't end there. The second laugh was pure, public joy, a testament to a promise fulfilled against all odds. In response to her initial cynicism, God posed a pivotal question that shatters the limits of our perception. Is anything too hard for the Lord? The name of her child, Isaac, literally means he laughs. God built a permanent reminder of this transformation into his very name. Every time Isaac was called, it was a reminder that God answers a laugh of doubt with a roar of joy. Sarah's journey invites us to shift from passive or doubtful waiting to an active faith. As President Nelson taught, when we truly seek and expect God's help, we build the spiritual momentum needed when our own promises feel overdue. While Sarah struggled with internal doubt, our next story explores the external pull of a tempting past. The tragic story of Lot is a masterclass in how tiny compromises can lead to absolute spiritual disaster. Lot's failure wasn't a sudden event, it was a gradual drift. It began with a choice that seemed small: which way he pointed his tent. That one decision led from looking toward Sodom to living in it, and finally to total assimilation. His direction determined his destination. This ancient pattern is shockingly relevant today. Think of Logan, a committed believer who drifted away. His slide didn't start at a party. It started with him passively watching it on his phone. The screen became his tent, angled toward a world he only meant to observe. Social media algorithms work much like Lot's move. They track your gaze. Through repeated exposure, what once seemed shocking starts to feel normal and eventually desirable. We must intentionally curate our gaze and unfollow what pulls us down. The contrast between Abraham and Lot is striking. When God's messengers arrived, Abraham ran to serve them with urgent energy. Lot, however, hesitated. Even when fleeing for his life, he lingered. Delay is often a symptom of a divided heart. This brings us to Lot's wife. Her tragic end wasn't just a quick glance. It was an issue of the heart. She looked back longingly at the comfort she was told to leave. You cannot move forward if your heart is still living in the Sodom you're supposed to leave behind. These tests of doubt and temptation build toward the most difficult trial of faith in the Old Testament, taking place on Mount Moriah. To understand this, we must grasp typological foreshadowing. This is when God uses a real historical event as a living prophecy, a divine dress rehearsal for the future mission of Jesus Christ. The Book of Mormon calls this a similitude of God and His only begotten Son. The parallels are breathtaking. A father offers his beloved son. The son carries the wood for his own sacrifice. And at the last second, a substitute is provided. Even the geography tells a story. Mount Moriah is the same mountain range where Jerusalem was built. Golgotha, the place of the crucifixion, is only about a mile away. The rehearsal and the ultimate performance took place on the very same stage. But Abraham's obedience is only half the story. What he learned and declared on that mountain became the very foundation of our faith. Imagine that agonizing walk as Isaac asks the heart-shattering question about the lamb. Abraham's answer is pure faith. Before he sees any evidence, he declares with prophetic confidence that God Himself will provide. After the ram appears, Abraham names the place Jehovah Jireh. The Lord will provide. He took the spotlight off his own trial and put it squarely on God's character. The lesson was about God's fundamental nature to provide. This wasn't just a test of Abraham's love, but a demonstration of God's love for us. Standing at the cross, we can echo those words, "Now I know that you love me, because you did not withhold your Son." This brings us back to our modern anxieties, the stress and the brokenness we face. We ask, is anything too hard for the Lord? The answer is in the divine rehearsal. He has already provided the lamb.